All right, you are welcome to the Sports Update on AYOGEN TV. It's a beautiful Thursday evening here at AYOGEN TV. It's Sport Update. I'm Adeus Oladejabi. Here with me in the studio is David. David, it's nice to have you here on board again.
Thank you very much for having me today.
You can as well also tune in to our social media handles. You can watch us on our Facebook, YouTube, as well as on our Instagram and Twitter page. Without wasting much of our time, David, you know, a lot of teams are actually qualified for the Qatar 2022, which is built to play in this year World Cup. We have the likes, the host country is there. We have Germany, we have Denmark, we have Croatia, we have Netherlands, we have South Korea, who just qualified for this tournament. What's the chance of all these teams making it up to Qatar 2022?
Yeah, first and foremost, I'm congratulating South Korea for making it to the World Cup, because it's going to give them another name, another image in the global world. And the likes of players, like of teams that are there now, the likes of Croatia, France, Spain, Argentina, and the likes, you know the type of players they have coming to France, the likes of Mbappe, Kante, Pogba, Benzema, Germany also, the type of players they have. You know, it's, but I'm just going to say we are going to be expecting the best from this team so far. And
a lot of new players will be introduced to majors of these teams.
Yes. You know, at the moment, we have players that are performing perfectly at their different clubs at the moment, and they are receiving call-ups from their country, and definitely too. So they are going to be playing fantastic football, and the World Cup this year is going to be very, very, very different from that of 2018.
Straight to the African Cup of Nations, Senegal is actually qualified for the semi-final. The defeat the Burkina Babes 3-1. This match was so entertaining, and we could see the beauty of African Cup of Nations. Even the Senegals, we expect them to be to make it up to these tournaments, semi-final, or probably to be in final. And what's the chance of them bringing the tournament, bringing the trophy home, rather?
I'll say it's actually 50-50, because you can't actually decide it, because we have the likes of Cameroon
and Egypt too.
Still, that they are going to play probably tonight, and that's when they are going to, when they play the final, when the 90 minutes of the final is whistled, that's when you can now judge. Probably. Senegal have actually proved themselves to be an outstanding team from the beginning of this competition. And likewise, as you know, when they wanted to start this competition, I actually thought Senegal and Nigeria, with some other national teams, have the best players in the competition. But sadly for Nigeria, they're out of the competition, and Senegal still remains. And lots of players they have, what's it called, Sadio Mane, up front. He's in his club. He has actually proved himself. Likewise now in the national team, and what he's still doing. And we can see his goal yesterday. It was actually fantastic. So let's just hope Senegal are favourites. Let me just put it out. They are actually favourites to win the AFCON for this year.
Quickly to the Europe, the embattled Arsenal captain Aubameyang has actually signed for Barcelona, and with what is happening to us now currently, don't you think it's a big mistake for them to let Aubameyang leave the club currently, because all the work will be on the shoulder of Smith Rowe, Bukayo Saka, Martinelli, and Odegaard. Arsenal, and presently they are not even performing well in the English Premier League. They are not in Champions League. They are not even in the Europa League. And with the caliber of player like Aubameyang, don't you see it was a big mistake for them to let Aubameyang leave the club?
Okay, HP, let me make you understand something. After the first 3 defeats Arsenal had this year, we've been seeing they've been promising so far. Those players, Aubameyang was not part at all. We can see it was likes of Smith Rowe, Saka, and Martinelli carrying this team so far. Aubameyang he had no place before he went to Barca. So I don't think it's going to be a big issue. Even before he left, he was actually being disciplined for act of indiscipline in the team. He wasn't disciplined, and I guess that was why he was stripped of the captaincy title. So I don't think it's going to be a big issue for the team. Even without him, they've been playing perfectly and he going now is just going to be an added advantage for better players to come into the club.
Okay, let's quickly talk about Manchester United, young lad, Mason Greenwood. Mason Greenwood, we could see a lot of news going around the social medias. He actually has sought his girlfriend. Nike has terminated their contract with him. Manchester United has also distanced themselves from him. Don't you see this will affect these players' future?
You know, it's actually disheartening to hear from a young lad like Mason Greenwood being accused of that, assaulting your girlfriend at a very, very young age. If it's done here in Nigeria, Nigerians will be like, what age are you having a girlfriend at that age of yours? But they, you know, it's a free word there for them. He actually ought not to have done that, because had he actually thought about the consequences which would have followed his action. He would have thought properly and comport himself in the right manner. And it's actually disheartening. Like Manchester United, they're actually drawing away from him. I just think the team needs to come down to his level and just give him the appropriate punishment. He needs, you know, even the word generally, Manchester United fans are already stigmatizing him already. They're already saying they can give out their shirt. I mean, his shirt the shirt of Greenwood, which they have, they can actually give that for free. That means he has actually tarnished his image generally in the football. Manchester United just need to come down to his level, give him the appropriate punishment, and just let him live his life.
Just of recent, Arsenal acquired the signing of former Chelsea legend and also Chelsea coach. Frank Lampard is now an Everton coach. Do you see Frank Lampard making a new turn-up at Everton, considering what happens to him at Chelsea?
You know, it's a different case from Chelsea to Everton. You know, he was a legend. That's why he was actually called back to the team. And, you know, he actually bought the players Chelsea are using presently. Look at what he has actually done to Everton at the moment. They need a coach. I won't say Lampard was actually up to the task, or is actually up to the task, but we just know Everton needs a coach, and probably Lampard was actually outstanding at his initial stage in Chelsea. At the moment, he has gotten like 2 or 3 players into the team, such as Dele Alli, Van de Beek. You know, he knows the type of players that ought to change a team generally. Let's just hope he's going to perform up to the expectations.
Even Everton have actually make it. They've make Chelsea legend have make Everton a home now, because Ashley Cole will join Frank Lampard as the crew for the managerial team. What is the correlation now that Everton is taking up all Chelsea legend?
You know the Everton generally. I won't say it was Everton that called Ashley Cole. You know, Ashley Cole and Lampard, since when they've played, they've had this cordial relationship. These are a set of players that brought up Chelsea. They actually raised Chelsea a lot, and they have perfect knowledge about football, whatever it may be. But at the same time, we have no choice. Ashley Cole coming up to the task in Everton. Definitely, I know he's going to do something better. He's going to actually work according to what Everton wants him for.
Okay. At the FIFA Club World Cup, a lot of things will be introduced. You know, we've heard that a robot referee will take overs. A lot of technologies have been actually introduced. We have leap trackings and all these things. When the player is offside, the signal will be received by a satellite and it will send the decisions to the VAR. What is all this technology all about? Don't you see it will affect football? Because at a certain point in time, we have a goal line technology, we have video assistant referee, and we've had a lot of controversy over all these technologies.
You know what? Anything good in life has its own advantage and disadvantage. When I first saw it that robot referee will be coming up in the Club World Cup, you know, it was actually dramatic for me. But they actually know what they were doing when they brought this robot referee on board, knowing it's going to add to the beauty of football, because there won't be, you know, a referee in the middle is a human being. He can actually change his decision, but once a robot makes his decision, definitely there's no going back on it. But at the same time, we ought to know that these robots can also have his or her own its own lapse. Also, maybe the players might be furious at some decisions the robots might take, but at the same time, it's actually a kudos for the organizers of the competition, making a huge step toward the contribution of football generally.
Okay, like we said, we discussed about Aubameyang going to Barcelona. And Barcelona have been having a lot of issues ranging from financial misappropriation and the likes. Now they have another issues of registering a player at Europa Leagues. They cannot register Dani Alves. They can only register a 3 new player, which is Adama Traore, Aubameyang, and Ferran Torres. Don't you see this? We have a setback on the team based on the fact that Dani Alves is well exposed to these competitions.
It's actually bad and disheartening for all these organizers. It's as if they are actually after Barcelona. It's just like that. They're not making them register players that are actually going to help them, help Xavi, their coach, build what he wants, achieve his main goals at Barcelona. It's not actually too good, but at the same time, they have no choice. Dani Alves, I think he's one of the players in the world that has one of the best experiences when it comes to football from the defense. And at the moment, Adibin is actually included into the team for the Europa. It's going to be an added advantage for them. But at the moment, I don't know what Barcelona might do, but it's going to be a very, very big headache for Xavi to pick selections from that point. And Aubameyang just coming into the team, going straight into no. It's not actually done. But just hope Barcelona come out with perfect decision making on this, which would affect them in future.
Okay, before we leave for this segment, I'd like us to discuss about one referee from England, which is Kevin Friend. This referee is not going to ref the match against Crystal Palace. He has been called up to 49 times to check the video assistant referee, and on checking, he has actually made his own recommendation against the video assistant referee. What do you think is happening on the verge of World Cup? Don't you see this will affect the England referee, and won't it have a bad reputation on them?
He, first and foremost, this referee, he has actually given himself a name. He has actually spoiled his reputation to some extent, because referees generally, whatever the VAR pronounces, that's what you must follow. Look at the likes of this man, Anthony Taylor. He doesn't care. Once he goes to the VAR, his decision, whatever the VAR says, that's what he's following. Look at senior referees doing like that, not to talk of you. You need to listen. That's why they brought the VAR on board. Whatever it says, follow it. And now, definitely, he's going to call up the effect of this would make England referees rather, who doesn't want to listen to the VAR to actually do that. Sometimes the VAR also has its own laps, and it at times actually favors teams. But at the same time, it's not too good for him, because he has actually spoiled his own reputation in England at the moment. And let's just hope the VAR keeps assisting referees also.
On a final note, before we go on a short break, let's quickly discuss about your club, Chelsea. Chelsea did not sign any player. Likewise, they loan little players, but with the fatigue injury that have struck the team, don't you see, not bringing in a new player will affect the team, because FIFA Club World Cup is on now, and Eduardo Mendy is also at the AFCON final right now.
When you said my club, I was like, Chelsea. I was actually expecting them to actually sign somebody. Starting from Lucas Digne, I was actually thinking, this guy is coming to Chelsea no matter what. But it's disheartening he went to Aston Villa. And at the same time, you can't actually blame the team. The team knows what they are doing at the moment. They're not signing. Definitely, they've not sent somebody that can actually come up to that challenge. They actually know what they are doing. It's not as if they are not left backs in the world. And at the moment, we are still in January, at the beginning of the second session of teams. Teams are going to competitions. Teams are looking for how they are going to come up back. Maybe those are in the lower league, thinking of coming, and they need their players back. Look at what Lyon are doing for Chelsea during that time of transfer window. They didn't want to release this guy, Emerson. they're actually playing a competition. They know what they're up against, and they releasing them as in is going to be a disadvantage for them and going to be an advantage for Chelsea. So it's very obvious. No team actually don't want to lose any of their players, and I just hope during the summer. Or before the summer, hopefully, Ben Chilwell will be back on stage and
probably Reece James will also be back.
Yes.
Okay, it's nice to have you on this segment again, once again, David. It's really nice to have you. Just one word before we leave for the short break.
Please keep on watching AYOGEN links on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. They are one of the best TV stations so far at the moment at giving you sports update. And whenever you're watching football, I've always said this and I'll keep saying it, whenever you're in the sport house, just please make a little bit of banter and just enjoy football, because banter itself can bring a lot of things, but just do a little bit of banter and be happy and watch your football.
Thank you, David, for coming. I would like to go on a short break now. We're still coming back. Stay tuned to Sport Update on AYOGEN TV. You are welcome back to Sports Update on AYOGEN TV. Like I said, it is two segments, and I also have another analyst here in the studio today. Mr. Tolu, good evening. It's good to have you back on this segment again.
Good evening, HP. Thanks for having me once again on Sport Update this evening.
A lot of happenings since last week, and I think Saturday we were unable to make it up to this segment. Also, let's quickly discuss about your club. A lot of things that are happening to Arsenal during the transfer windows. Aubameyang has left the club. Even Manchester City and Liverpool are still watching the progress of Bukayo Saka. What do you think is happening to Arsenal these days?
Actually, I wouldn't say anything is happening to the team because Mikel Arteta, who is in charge of the team presently, knows what he wants, and I think he has really proven to the world that he knows what he's doing. And don't forget, losing players at some point, really, it's nothing bad at times, though it might have some effect on the team, probably a backward effect, but nonetheless, as a matter of fact, the manager, the board are in support of Mikel Arteta losing some certain players because of financial issues. So at the moment, I don't want to see it as a problem, because Mikel Arteta has been trying to rejuvenate this team and gel this team together, and I think he's really doing that very well.
Okay, now let's quickly discuss about African Cup of Nations, which is going on in Cameroon. Although our darling Super Eagles is no more in the competitions, but we are now presently at the semi-final stage. We have Senegal. Senegal is now up to the final. The defeat Burkina Babes with 2-1. But tonight we are having Cameroon against Argentina. Cameroon against Egypt, rather. Cameroon so far so good, have performed excellently well, same as Egypt, except for the fact that the Super Eagles actually defeat them. And during their game against Ivory Coast, we could see that yes, Egypt is up to the task. Will Egypt defeat Cameroon, or will Cameroon defeat Egypt? Who is built to make it up to the final?
Honestly, I think this edition of Cup of Nations are being one that is full of drama, and at this point, it will be difficult for us to predict which side will be able to emerge at the end of the competition. And so far, Egypt had been a good side, and don't forget Cameroon themselves playing at home. It has really been a moral booster for these guys, though. Both teams had a good record when it comes to African Cup of Nations. Presently, Egypt are the current and the leading champion when it comes to winning this title. And Cameroon on their own, I think they are either the second or the third best team when it comes winning this trophy. And so far, they are playing at home at the moment. So that's one of a plus for them, playing at home. And for Egypt, I wouldn't say they'll be able or not, but let's just give it to Egypt so far. They've proven, after their game against Super Eagles of Nigeria when they lost their first match, ever since then they've been putting effort, and they've been really doing well. Despite the fact they didn't have much prolific players of this world, except for Mo Salah
in their team
and their legendary goalkeeper. But in all, let's still give it to Cameroon because of it.
Okay, now let's quickly discuss about Kevin Friend. I actually discussed this with David before he left the stage. Kevin Friend will not be on the will not be at the center against Crystal Palace. It was alleged that out of 49 matches he has officiated these seasons, a lot of controversy have actually come up. And even when he was called up to check the video assistant referee, he still make a lot of mistakes when he was even told to do some certain things. And don't you think this will affect the English Premier League as a whole? One. Secondly, our FIFA Club World Cup is built to be played this year. Don't you see that it will affect the chance of English referee to make it up to Qatar in 2022? And don't you, thirdly, won't this put a dent on the image of Kevin Friend?
Of course it will, but England generally, their officiating had been something else entirely different from every other leagues and the European sides. And this might cost them a chance of representing themselves at the global scene when it comes to Qatar later in the year. And of course, I wouldn't blame this guy, because he's a human, and he felt he has gone through the training and he knows what is best for him to the decision to make. For you to have go to the VAR for a review, of course, though there's man behind this video of a thing, and himself, he at some point he will be called and he will check himself and look at the difference. Okay, am I giving the right decision or not? So if he so well thought that he's on line, is in track, I think it's never a wrong thing for him to stand by this. He want to stand by his word, and you know, technology at times can be maneuvered. So probably that's what this guy is thinking. Okay, the man has influenced this.
This influences the decision, and is the charge of the game. So he wants to make sure that everything is balanced. Yeah. Okay, at the FIFA Club World Cup that is built to commence, especially the semi-final that Chelsea will be playing, they've actually introduced the robots to be at the center of the pitch, which will be making decisions, and you know, introducing technologies that actually have been good. But we've actually have a lot of controversy when it comes to technology. You could see the moment they introduced goal line technology, there was a lot of controversy. The moment they introduced VR, video assistant referee, there was a lot of controversy. But I actually know gradually they will amend with it. But don't you see that introducing technologies into the game of footballs is actually bringing a lot of controversy into the game?
Of course. Thank God you've mentioned it yourself. Each moment we introduce technology into this game, it's kind of draws back a bit, or remove some natural feelings we have when it comes to soccer. You know, for you to have introduced a robotic referee at this point, although the decision might be right, but nonetheless, there will always be criticism. Normal. When it started with goal line technology, at some point VR, it's normal for you to criticize this thing whenever there's any feeling of not doing well. But I think with time, like you said, and thank God, this is not the real World Cup. It's just the FIFA Club World Cup. I think it's just on a trial now, and if during this competition, or this tournament rather, the robots play a huge and positive role. I think there's nothing stopping it from being adopted into the game of soccer. But let's just give it a trial first and see how well and how far it will be able to take us far in the game of soccer.
Okay, Martin Greenwood has been on the verge of a lot of controversy, ranging from the time he assaulted his girlfriends. Manchester United has distanced themselves from him. Same thing, Nike has withdrawn their sponsorship from him. And now Manchester United have confirmed that sports supporters will be able to exchange their shirts with Martin Greenwood names on the back for free. I don't you think all these Manchester United decisions, they've actually banned him from training and likewise from playing till further notice. Don't you think it will affect this young lad future?
While I was checking the news and I saw that this afternoon, it saddened me. And of course, since we had the news on Sunday that this guy assaulted his girlfriend, that does not speak well of a young lad, of him, a promising talent. Let me put it that way. This guy has been proving well in the Manchester United squad. He has been really up in his game and he has been brilliantly playing very well for them. But there are some issues you have to sort behind the scene, and it starts from your home. Probably he might be frustrated at times. Normal, you have to be frustrated and you have disagreement and argument between yourself and your spouse, but that does not warrant you assaulting her. When I saw the clips and the images that backed this thing up, I think it was alarming and nothing good to write home about. But then the decision of the board of Manchester United board, I can't say it's too grievous now, because he has to understand that he has done the wrong thing and he should be able, when he now felt remorse, I think he can be brought back to the team. But for him to be brought back to the team, it might be difficult for him because he might not be able to make up again with a little. And thank God for the kind of team he's doing that with. If it were to be an Arsenal side or probably a manager like Mikel Arteta, definitely should forget coming back to the team.
Okay, like Aubameyang said something. He said, my last few months at Arsenal have actually been complicated. He said that's football sometimes. And he said, for my part, he think he doesn't have any problems and I never want to do anything wrong. He said he think the problem is Mikel Arteta.
Of course, certain players have had issues with Mikel Arteta so far. I think in the last 2 seasons,
he said Arteta wasn't happy with him.
Yes. The moment you had issues with Mikel Arteta, forget it. For you to move back into the team, you might find it difficult. So, each of these players have to be more careful this time around. Whenever you are playing under Mikel Arteta, don't forget it started with Mesut Ozil, Matteo Guendouzi, Lucas Torreira, William Saliba. This guy had not played a competitive match for Arsenal so far since he signed, and yet he had been going. But for Aubameyang, there have been instances and antecedents about this guy since I think 2 seasons ago, and he had been warned on several occasions, but yet he has kept making the same mistake. And don't forget, he's the captain of the side. What if you, as a leader of the team, you kept found wanting whenever it comes to being disciplined, you are found wanting? I don't see any wrong in being penalized for that. So for him to have said that, of course he would defend himself that yes, he's good, he's this and that, but for Mikel Arteta to have taken that decision and the board, I think it's a good one. Okay,
now let's quickly discuss about true transfer before we leave. Manchester City are still in talks with their Portugal midfielder, which is Bernardo Silva, to sign another contract, which will run until 2025. Do you think Manchester City rather should still compel Bernardo Silva to sign a new deal, despite the fact that he's enjoying a very good lifestyle at the Etihad Stadium?
Of course. Bernardo Silva is one of the best, arguably one of the best member of that team so far now. He had played for a couple of seasons at Etihad Stadium, and he has proven over. At some point, he won Best Player of the Season. Even in his national team, he has proven that a lot of time. So, compelling him to sign a new deal this time around, there's nothing bad about that. I think his experience will still count in that team. So, he should still be given a fresh contract.
Okay, like I discussed with David earlier on before he left the studio, that don't you think that it's going to be a loss for Arsenal to let Aubameyang leave? As it is now, Arsenal is still contributing to the salary of Aubameyang.
Well, losing Aubameyang to Barcelona, to me, I felt happy.
Why?
Kind of. For quite some seasons ago, I've been displeased with this kind of style of play. The only season I enjoyed him playing was while he was playing for Dortmund. But since he joined Arsenal, okay, probably in his first 2 seasons, ever since then, I've not been feeling this guy. Then losing him, I don't see anything so big in that. But on the financial side, this guy has been compensated, and thank God the contract, it will have been a bigger pay, but thank God they were able to manage. Both sides have looked into the plus or minus and the expenses or whatever it's going to cost them. So that Arsenal is giving him certain amounts. It has happened to so many players and managers before. For instance, Chelsea have paid Jose Mourinho, Mosari and the likes before, and it doesn't really affect them. So I think when Arsenal will be able to cash in into new players, I think it's going to be a good addition for them.
Okay, on a final note, before we leave the studio today, Chelsea, they refused to sign the new players into the team. We could see that a lot of their left back is injured. And presently, their coach is even pushing for Ousmane Dembele of Barcelona. What's the chemistry between bringing Ousmane Dembele in when you have a lot of issues with your defenders?
Well, Tuchel at the moment, let's just give it to this guy. He's still one of the best so far at the Stamford Bridge. He has proven it over and over again. But for him to have admired Ousmane Dembele, it will be a good addition for Chelsea. Although, if the injury again or players losing form will not affect him again when he arrives at Stamford Bridge. But thank God, this summer break is a few months away now. Probably at the end of the season, he'll be able to look for other guys and that will be able to fit in well into that. So far, he wants to believe he still have a reserve and probably a player that can fit in easily into that left back position and be able to
actually bringing in Callum Hudson-Odoi. Frank Lampard is off to Everton, and they've actually acquired the signing of Dele Alli and Van Don Beek from Manchester United. Do you see Frank Lampard making it up at Everton, despite the fact that he was sacked at Chelsea?
Yeah. Don't forget, Lampard has done it in the Championship before, and he has really done well.
Against our Derby.
Coming to Chelsea then, it was too big for him. But because he was a legend at Chelsea, that was why he was given so much time. And when they could not condone it, this guy had to leave. So coming to Everton, I think it's a good one for him. And then the kind of caliber of guys they have presently at Everton, I think they will be able to deliver for him. Although, let's not forget, we are in the mid-season. I don't really expect much from this guy.
But probably next season, he would actually,
of the next season
he would develop. Mr. Toluema, thank you. It's really nice to have you on Sport Update segments today again. You can always join us on our social media handles, which is our Facebook, our YouTube, and Instagrams, and follow us on Twitter as well. Mr. Toluema, just say words to our viewers at home before we leave.
Well, like I used to say, whenever we go to our viewing center, let us argue well, and it's very normal for us to argue, but we should do that in a matured way, and don't lend, don't be a fanatic when it comes to supporting your side. Let's play mature and let's view constructively and enjoy the game.
Okay, thank you, Toluema, for coming. We hope when next we call upon you, you will surely be in the studio with us. Until next week, that I will still come your way. We are still meeting on Saturday for weekend sport. All appreciations to all our technical crew, Mr. John Joshua, our director, Mr. Falegan. Thank you for making it up to us today. Until next week, that I will still come your way on Sport Updates. I'm Adeus Oladeji Habib. Keep doing sports always.